Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. Good to see you. And here I am. It's me, Mitch, as if you didn't know. Welcome. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. And as usual, my friends, drink it if you got it. And I got it, and it's hot. Oh my God. I haven't had a sip of this yet. Here we go. Let that wash over me. And the airplane is going overhead. Well, good to see you all here this morning. Glad you could make it. Glad you could make it. Well, we're starting off with almost 50 people so far. Wow, wow, wow. And although it was touch and go because she was not at home dog sitting with Wi-Fi issues, I'm happy to say that Ellen is here with us. Her audio is great. The Wi-Fi where she is, and she's dog sitting, sometimes freezes up her picture. But let me bring Ellen in, and we'll see if she's moving. There she is. Yeah, you can see the picture's not too good. Hi, Ellen.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mitch.
Yes.
Good morning,
yes.
everyone in chat. I'm a little discombobulated today because toast to you. I'm a little bit discombobulated because I'm not at home, but I found a festive spot. And can you hear that swishing noise in the background?
No.
Oh, good. Okay. There's an aquarium that's on some kind of timer, and I think I don't know what it's doing, but that's good. I was worried that would be a problem. So
no, I haven't. And we can hear you fine. Right
okay.
now, your picture's frozen, but that's okay. That's okay.
It's not I don't know if it's the best light, but anyway, I'm here. You're here. Everyone is here. And it's all good. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. And let me.
Oh, my little dog is over there. He'll come and say hi.
Okay. All righty. And hopefully, when we first started talking, your video was perfect. And now all of a sudden, so it comes and goes. But I'm going to put you up in the penthouse and enjoy yourself. You could take the dog with you. Our penthouse is pet friendly, so no problem. So there you go. Oh, there's the little doggy. Hold on a second. Let me bring the little dog back in. Yeah, froze up, but oh yeah, there you go. Cute.
He's having some steak for breakfast.
Oh, yeah, you're probably feeding him the only real food he ever gets.
Oh yeah, he'll eat well.
Yeah.
He's a good dog. I've had him before, so he's used to it.
Well, you get him in all sizes, don't you? You get the big, you get that big
Mastiff.
The horse. You know.
Yeah. Yes, I do. I'll shake.
Oh, okay. Can you hear that airplane? Can you hear that airplane going over my head?
I can't. No.
Okay, good. Then my microphone is doing a good job, but it seems like all the loud propeller-driven planes are taking off from Melbourne Airport this morning and flying right over my house. But at least we don't have any lawn mowing going on.
Not on Sunday, no.
Oh my God, yeah. So at any rate, here we are. It's 53 degrees right now where I am, and the sun is up. It was a little chilly out here. I got this is my heaviest sweatshirt. Mm-hmm. So I wore it, and then this knit cap helps, and but it's going to get up to, all right, people, don't be mad at me. It's going to get up to 73 degrees today and in the low 80s tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Before another cold front comes through on, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday, when the overnight temperatures will drop into the 30s and 40s. So,
wow, that's cold.
Yeah, and we're usually a little warmer over here on the coast than they are inland. We might be 15 degrees, so it'll probably be pretty much the same as it's been. When I come out here first thing in the morning to start setting up, usually upper 40s, lower 50s. But, I dress warm, and It's no big deal. It's no big deal. I actually like it. It feels good. It feels good because there's no wind blowing on me out here on my patio.
Yes, the wind
Yeah.
makes a big difference.
Oh man, does it ever? I walk outside. When I just go outside, it just feels immediately 10, 15 degrees colder.
Mm-hmm.
But it's calm here this morning. It's a beautiful morning, and my coffee warmer is warming over there, and good to see everybody. So,
Okay.
as usual, if you have a question, and Ellen's going to keep track of them, and I think because she's not at home and everything, somebody asked a question right at the end of yesterday morning's chat and asked about it again yesterday afternoon. I'm sorry, remember who that was, and I don't know if Ellen has that question at her fingertips. So would you do me a favor if you did ask a question yesterday and we didn't get to it and we said we would get to it? We're sorry. Excuse us. Ask it again. Type it in again.
I'm sorry. I do have the list of old questions. I'm not sure who that person was, but I have some from yesterday and before that didn't get answered.
Okay, well, we'll see if we don't get it again, and I'll recognize it when I see it.
Okay.
So, then we'll go to the list. But let me start off
one of those
acknowledging some of the early birds that came in here this morning, and none other than Tuukka down in Finland chimed in here. Of course, for him it's afternoon now, but he chimed in at 7:00, 7:30 last night. These people, they just want to be first in there. And Sandy Blythe came in not too long after William McCartney came in at 10 p.m. and says good morning. Don Schonger, 10:30 p.m. Lady June, 11:23 p.m. Stickman's Garage chimed in at 11:30. Lucy Auerbach, 11:45. Wow. You know, I create this stream the night before, and it goes public so people can log in and start chatting. So they do. And, oh my God. Peter, get some sleep. 3:30 in the morning.
3:30. I don't know if that's late or early.
I don't know. I was up at 4:30 this morning, but geez. And Mike Seeley, United Carnivore, checked in at 4:31. Couch Potato is here at 5:43. Wow. And now the normal people are starting to check in. Wayne Herman, good to see you, Wayne. How are you? And Greg Smith is out driving out there in Amarillo, Texas, on his way to Kentucky with a truckload of shoes for Amazon. And we saw him yesterday afternoon. We had a great time yesterday. We had a great time on the Saturday afternoon live. Not a lot of people were watching. I don't think we got maybe up to 60 or so. That was it. But we had 8 windows going on the screen. We had booby goats. Aaron was in here. Wow, it was great. We had a good time, and we went the whole 2 hours, and we were still going. So I'll do it again next Saturday. We'll see. As long as we're having a good time, why not? Sharpie Aquatics is here. Good morning to you, and Mike Seeley Sr., father of United Carnivore, right here in Melbourne. Good to see you. And Lynn Gerber. Good morning, Lynn. How you doing? Good to see you. And the sun is right in my eyes. And Ellen chimed in right about there. Captain America, is here. Steve. Steve Rogers. How you doing, Steve? From Kansas City, MO, Kansas City. And another person I got to meet yesterday for the first time, Rick Charger Mopar from Miami. And it was great. Rick, if you're here right now, we had a ball. We had a ball. Rick and I went, for those of you that didn't see it yesterday afternoon, we went down a journey of technology lane, old technology, and he was showing off some of the old stuff that he's got. I mean, we just had a great time. Everybody that was there, we had a great time. So enjoyed seeing you, Rick, and I hope we do it again next Saturday.
Yes, it was really interesting hearing from him.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. And the only thing that I didn't like about Rick was I think he sounded better than I did. He's got a radio voice.
He really does.
And he has a real microphone and a mixer. And I'm telling you, I try so hard to get good audio, but I'm stuck with this voice that I have, which isn't deep and resonating like most announcers. But it is what it is, and it was great to see you. Richard Williams from Copper Hill, Tennessee. Supreme grumpiness. Yes, that's me. And wow, God, that sun is right in my eyes, making it very hard to read. So if I read a word wrong, you'll excuse me. I do know how to read. And he says he's here for Sunday church. Let me turn my screen brightness up. One more notch, maybe that'll help. Maybe if I angle it down a little where it's not. Okay. Yes, me and this morning sun, which I love so much. It's great on everything, but it's shining right in my eyes right now. Yeah. If you see my glasses are these transition lenses that get darker.
Yeah, you look very illuminated though.
Yes, I am.
You just can't see, unfortunately.
I just can't see, and I'm trying to read off a computer screen. I didn't even bother putting a fill light up this morning. I have a little fill light that I usually use to maybe light this side of my face, but it's so bright in here right now that little fill light, it's not a real bright one, because I don't like to sit under bright lights. Would be unnoticeable. I figure why bother this morning. Oh, Patty Molden. Good Sunday morning, all good to see you. And even I chimed in early here. I said, good morning, everyone. And I usually say things like, good morning, coffee fans, or good morning, coffee aficionados. But this morning I said, well, maybe some of these people don't drink coffee. I want them to feel welcome to too. And Rick chimed back in at 8:11, said good morning to me. Glad you're here. And Peter's chatting up a storm as usual. Bob Black is here. Good morning. Good morning from Panama. Oh man, good to see you, Bob. Good to see you. Smoovie. Hey, Smoovie, how you doing? Good Sunday morning. We're having a heat wave. It's 38 degrees in the morning with 50s later on. Cool. And Francine Bourgeois, good morning from Montreal. Francine, I've been thanking you profusely for that coffee warmer super chat. And I guess maybe you've got the message already, but I got one. I bought one. From Amazon. And it cost $26, okay? And I put a link to it because people were asking me which one I got. And it turns out that super chat you gave me after the conversion from Canada to America and after Google took its 30% off the top, I was left, for me, with $26. Perfect. It was perfect.
Wow.
You couldn't have known better.
It was meant to be.
It was. And my coffee is steaming here. I don't know if you can see it steaming or not in this bright sun, but it is hot. And this thing keeps my coffee hot, just as hot and perfect up till the very end of the stream, where I'm usually gagging on the last big gulp of cold coffee just to get finished with it. Not just for the super chat, Francine, but for the idea. Jesus, I say to myself, why in the world am I not as smart as Francine? Why didn't I buy myself one of these things years ago? Especially sitting out here in the cold trying to drink hot coffee. So thanks again. I wanted to make sure that I properly thanked you for that, because it was a great idea. And the idea meant more, believe it or not, than the money did. Thank you so much. Thank you. Marla's here. Marla Kelly, and I think the days of me calling her Maria are over, even though as I look at the computer screen, all I can see is Maria. That L just seems to look like an I for some reason. James Ballou, how you doing from Southern California? Good to see you. And Peter says, bonjour, Francine. That's what I should say, bonjour. Bonjour. Lori's here. How you doing, Lori? Good to see you. And what time are we up to? 8:26, almost up to the beginning of the chat. God, 15 minutes. I won't do any soliloquies this morning. Ellen, have we got any questions yet?
We do.
Okay, all righty. Well, we'll try to get to them in a minute. Let me just finish saying hi to everybody. We have Sandy Blythe says, good morning, Ellen. And Aaron is here. How you doing? Good morning, everyone. I have to run outside and feed the chickens. Do you know that this young lady has 10 children?
She is amazing.
She's like the woman in the shoe. I'm telling you, man, it's 10 children. And she was on the live stream with us yesterday and showed one of them. And I said, which number is this? And she said, I think number 7, I think. Yeah. And he was a young little tot, about 2 or 3 years old. Cute as hell with big cheeks. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was great. We did have a great time. We could have used a few more women in it yesterday, but I know you weren't available, Ellen, but I think Satya was in the chat, but she didn't come in. And Ketra's here. Good morning to you. I imagine, of course, I'm live, but let me check out Rumble real quick and see. Yes, Rumble is working. Got a few people. Oh my God, 26 people tuned in over on Rumble. Hey, Rumble. How you doing, my friends? Good to see you on Rumble. 26 people watching. Not many in the chat, though. Just the usual suspects. I see the Sealy boys. Both of them are in there. Senior and Junior. Panama Bob too. Good morning, everyone from Boca. Yeah, you were just in my other chat. Rod Weeder, always here, says good morning. Brenda Day says good morning, and Boyd Lamb just this second chimed in over in the Rumble chat. So good to see you guys over there, and glad to see maybe it's picking up. I have been getting notifications that I'm getting a few more subscribers. People are actually subscribing to me on Rumble, so we'll see what happens. I say it's no big deal to do it. I'm going to keep doing it. And Ellen, I didn't get a chance to watch that thing you emailed me about. Somebody that you saw streaming on X, but I am very interested in that, and I will watch it.
I just thought you would enjoy his comments.
Okay, all right, I'll do that. Susan Ivy's here, and now
laugh. I hope. Okay.
Oh, I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Mark's channel is here. How you doing, Mark? Good to see you. And is that Mark C? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he changed his name, or is that another Mark? We got so many people with the same name.
That's a different Mark. Yeah, I know.
Okay, Josephine.
And a lot of Michaels.
Yeah, a lot of Michaels. And Josephine C is here. How you doing, Josephine? And Danny in Boston at 8:30. So we have caught up to. And keep an eye out for Mark's channel to see if he acknowledges whether he is Mark C or he's somebody different.
Oh, yeah, that is someone different. I do know.
Oh, okay. All right, good. Edward Renner from San Diego. How you doing? Good to see you. Booby Goat says her favorite part is when I say, it's me, Mitch. That's great. Nikki W's here. Robin Downing. And I'm going to just go real quick through the new people. Sandy Blythe says, Pretty in pink, Ellen.
Oh, thank you, son.
And of course, DS111 is here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Complimenting you, Ellen, of course. Of course.
Oh, well, people are so nice to me.
Hey, Mark Whistler's here. Good morning, Mark. How you doing? And Lizzie chimed in. Lizzie says, good morning. Good morning. And who else is new? Jerry Voitush. Good morning, Jerry, from Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, up there, Jacksonville. Good to see you, man. Glad you're here. Glad you're here on Sunday morning. Anybody else for the next minute or two? Let's see. I'm up to 836 in the chat, and I'm moving through 'em, moving through 'em. Mama Bear, how you doing? Good morning to you. And I see a question from Peter. Peter's asking questions. Wow. Hi. Okay, Peter, let me take a sip of my coffee, and I will read it. I'm sure you saw that question, Ellen, didn't you?
I did.
Okay.
You've got it.
Okay. Peter says, what are sugar and carbs so hard to, do you mean why are sugar and carbs so hard to stop eating when we start? Is this because they are historically considered survival foods? And why is meat better for humans? Well, Peter's obviously seen many of my videos, and I think he's giving me an excuse to make the addiction speech. Well, you got it. You're absolutely right, Peter. You're absolutely right. And I'll try to do this quickly without going down. And Ellen, stop me if I fall into this rabbit hole.
Okay, if you say so.
Okay, just stop me because everybody's heard this and we talk about this a lot. But the reason we don't consider, or society doesn't consider sugar addiction an addiction is because they equate it with food, and they say, well, we can't live without food. We can live without drugs. We can live without alcohol, but we can't live without food. So how could it be an addiction? Well, if that's true, how can they call sex addiction an addiction? Because we can't live without sex. We would go extinct immediately. That's a false narrative and propaganda. And then you add on top of that misunderstanding the major attempts of everybody that profits from the food companies and the drug companies and keeping us sick and getting us more and more addicted. They pretty well squash the messaging anywhere in the public square. So you don't even hear about people talking about carbohydrate addiction. In fact, and in reality, carbohydrate addiction is not only the strongest addiction by far that human beings can ever experience. It has its roots in our evolution and our history, and it comes from the fact that sugar was a survival food for our ancestors when the hunt failed and they couldn't eat meat. And we developed all the pathways to be able to extract energy from this sugar for the sole purpose of surviving, and that was it. And that was the only reason, not for the nutrition or the nutrients or any of that other stuff that might be in what we call survival food, which all came from plants back in those days. There was no 7-Eleven. The survival food was plant material, and it was sugar, and it was carbohydrate. And it wasn't even so much sweet sugar. It was just carbohydrates. It came from tubers. It came from vegetables and plants, and a small amount of sugar and fructose from fruits. And we developed a way to live on it. Although it wasn't optimal, it would keep us going until the real food got back. And that survival instinct led to the fact that when there were periods of famine, the imperative to get that sugar was stronger and stronger and stronger, and we started to have cravings for it to motivate us to go out and spend an entire day or two scrounging around in the bushes trying to pick what berries we could find. And that's how nature, and that's how animals are motivated to do something. It's by a craving or an urge or a desire. And the reward is dopamine and serotonin. And that is, and we come pre-programmed with that response. It's the oldest and most powerful addiction. Now, since meat was our mainstay, that same thing didn't develop.
Mhm.
So meat and fat lead to satiety because it's full of nutrition. Your body is happy when you're eating meat. It says, okay, I've had enough. I don't need any more. You can stop now. But when it's in survival mode, which basically almost everybody in the world right now is living in full-time survival mode, even though there's tons of meat, they're not eating it because of a lot of reasons. And here we are, stuck with the oldest and most powerful addiction known to man, an addiction that is not even recognized as an addiction, and certainly nobody's making huge efforts to treat it. And that's why we are helpless. And we make tons of money for the big food companies and the big drug companies. So that's the short answer. Let me climb out of that rabbit hole real quick here. Thank you, Peter, for that.
Well, that was well done, Mitch. And
All right, thank you.
not
Thank
too
you.
long, not too short. And, maybe after that, a cigar would be.
Oh, hey, just so happen to have some happy music here.
Cigar and a little
Yes,
music? Yeah.
yes, thank you, Ellen. We need to get you smoking cigars. That would make my day. See you puffing on a cigar up there. Anyway, excuse me while I light my cigar. Ah, yes. And what goes with a cigar better than coffee?
Yeah.
Mm,
Life is
hot coffee. Thank you,
good.
Francine. All right, Peter, that was a good question. That was a good question, but that was a question that I'm sure you already knew the answer to. Okay, do you have any more questions there, Ellen?
I do.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep scrolling down the chat here, and I'll pop in and say hi to somebody. Gina Cav, how you doing? Good morning. And then you can ask me. I see Tormir asked a question. Was that the next one?
Oh, did I miss Turamir's question? I don't have a question from Turamir. So why don't you, if you want to grab that one?
He just says, "How do you meet normal people, Mitch?
Oh,
How do I, or is that meet or mean? Oh, how do I mean normal people? Well, normal people to me, not normal for human beings, but normal for what society considers normal. And society considers a carbohydrate heavy diet, a meat sparse diet as normal because they've been taught that for their entire lives. Most people have never heard any other messaging than that. That messaging has been around for 60, 70 years. Certainly our children are educated. They're fed that way. They're taught that in school. The medical schools teach everybody that you need to eat fruits and vegetables and avoid meat and fat. And that is normal in our society. That's what I mean about normal people. I don't think they're normal. I think they're abnormal if they're not eating an appropriate diet, but that's just us. This small, tiny little band of rebels. But I'll tell you what, sometimes, as evidenced by a news story this morning, sometimes a small little band of rebels can change everything. Because yesterday in Syria, I don't know if you've heard this yet,
I haven't.
but a band of rebels overthrew the Assad government and got that guy gone. Now, what's going to happen over there is anybody's business, but you almost have to think that anything other than that particular regime that was in power for so long must be better. So we'll wait and see, and hopefully it has a good outcome. But it was a monumental thing when you hear about something like that happening, when a government gets toppled, especially a government that is not really nice.
Yes.
Not really nice. Glenn Ish is here. How you doing, Glenn? Good to see you. And you can queue up the next question.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Oh, here. Well, let me just follow up Torimer's question. Are we normal people? No, we're not normal. Not in our society.
Yeah.
Not in our society, Tuka. We are nowhere like anybody else. And when I use the term normal, let's talk about blood test results. What they consider normal is normal for sick people, but it's still the majority. So that's kind of how the word normal is used, and it's sad. And everybody wants to be normal, so people try to fit in. Sybil V, good morning to you. Kevin is here. Hey, Kevin. Kevin Deckard, good to see you. Good morning, everyone. Okay, Ellen, next question.
Okay, DS111 asks, what is the problem with the gum ingredient that is in some whipping cream brands? And he's probably talking about the gum gelum. That's usually.
Yeah, or when they have xanthan gum, guar gum.
Yeah.
It's a thickening agent.
Yeah.
It's just, and they use it in a lot of it. I don't really know by itself how whether it had I've never taken any more notice of that stuff other than the fact that I don't need it. I did at one point when I was keto. And I was making my let me elevate myself a little. There you go. I see some people just sit up taller. Me, I can just angle the camera down a little bit. When I was making my banana breads and chaffles and all that stuff I was trying to make to hang on to my addiction, boy, I you talk about not wanting to let go of that addiction. I had no idea what I was doing and how detrimental it was to any chances of long-term sustainability of any eating regimen that I ever did. I was still trying to make that's why I'm so adamant against it. Do not try to make phony versions of the foods the kind of foods that you are addicted to. You cannot get rid of an addiction when you keep trying to feed it, going out of your way. Well, I kept watching all these YouTube videos, recipe after recipe, how to make this. And God, if you remember back in 3-4 years ago, it was all about chaffles. Remember, everything was chaffles. How to make a better chaffle. And one of the things they started saying was you got to add a little bit of xanthan gum. You got to add some almond flour or coconut flour to make it less like a cheesy, eggy thing. Because that's what a chaffle was. It was basically just mozzarella cheese and egg beat up real good, put into a waffle maker, and it came out looking like a waffle. But everybody says, well, yeah, it's a waffle, but it tastes like a cheese omelet, And I'm not looking for a cheese omelet. I'm looking for a waffle. So they started adding all kinds of these different ingredients, and I bought them all. I went on Amazon. I bought big bags of xanthan gum and coconut flour and almond flour and.
Oh, you were into all that, Mitch.
Well, that's why I'm so against it now, because I lived through the sabotage it did to me. Everything that I'm so adamant about, because I discovered for myself how wrong it was. Nothing that I say, not a bit of advice that I give, just comes out of thin air. Or does it come from anything I heard anybody else say? I have been through so much in dieting experimentation in my lifetime that everything I talk about, including my aha moment about addiction, comes from what I learned personally, firsthand, and learned the hard way. And that's why I'm so adamant about it. I'm saying to myself, well, Mitch. And when I say Mitch, then I say, what? Because I always answer myself, hey, Mitch, what? I say, Mitch. I say, what? I say, I forgot what I said. Man, that's what happens. Like I start getting off on a comedy routine, I forget. No, anyway, I forgot exactly the point I was going to make. It's not senility, folks. I'm sorry, but I still have a sharp mind. I had a senior moment, they call that, and been having senior moments. Let me fix my. God, this is crooked, and I'm looking at a backwards picture. I don't know which side to pull up. There it goes. That's perfect. And I've been having senior. We all have senior moments. And my mind just goes so fast from one thing to another, and I'm thinking 10 things ahead sometimes. I forget where I started,
I know exactly how that is.
Yeah, yeah. So at any rate, the point I was trying to make was that nothing I say comes from nowhere. It all comes from a lot of experience and a lot of deep analytical trying to figure out just what the hell I'm doing wrong. Because I certainly know when I'm doing something wrong as the scale is going up again and I'm binging on all the crap that I promised myself at one point or many points in my life I wasn't going to eat anymore. All right, so let's get on to the next question before I go off on God knows what kind of a tangent here.
Okay. Well, quickly.
Oh, here was the question. We were answering a question about what's wrong with the gum stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And some whipping cream blends. I don't know if that. Yeah, I knew that I started somewhere. I don't know if there's any problem with that gum stuff, how harmful that particular ingredient might be or not. But if you're using it, which I would imagine, to make something that you probably shouldn't be eating, in that respect, I think any of that stuff you don't need. I don't think you need any of that stuff. So that's the short answer to that question, roundabout.
And our LAT from the UK also chimed in because she's a scientist and a foodie. Said it's a cheap product to bulk up or add filler to a cheaper product.
A filler,
It's not a cheap product. That's how she worded it.
Yeah. Oh, she's absolutely correct. I'm sure. And yeah, if I was a foodie anymore, and I was experimenting with all these different products, I'd certainly know more about it. But I haven't even thought about that stuff in years. So it's not necessary. It's not necessary.
Okay.
Okay, next question.
Next question. Someone else asked, Ludi Cross would like to know, as well as someone else, if you could show them what your coffee warmer looks like. Are you able to do that?
Yeah, I can. It'll take a second. Hang on a second. Let me take the coffee cup off of it. It is plugged in.
Yeah, I don't want you to hurt yourself.
I mean, I don't know. I have the cord wrapped up.
Maybe.
Let me see if I can move the camera over. Okay. In this. Oops, wrong way. Everything's backwards. Let me see if I can move the camera. There it is, right there. And I'm trying not to touch the hot surface, but
don't burn. No, we don't want any burn.
If you can see it there, it's a little hot plate looking thing. It's got a this is the power button to turn it on and off, and this is a timer where you can set it, and this is the temperature, and it goes off 131, 145, 167, and 185, and I keep it on 145. And that's it. That's just a handy little gadget. And as long as you don't touch that shiny surface, and 145 degrees is not enough to seriously burn you anyway. But you'll know it's warm if you touch it. So that's it. Now, let me see if I can find myself again. Because I think it would be really boring for you guys to watch. There I am. Hey, it's me, Mitch. Okay,
You,
perfect.
Mitch, okay.
Perfect. Yes, yes. Okay, there you
Okay,
go. That was an easy question.
that was. Next question from Helen Hot Stuff.
Helen.
Sometimes at work, I have to take a cold lunch. What should I look out for when buying cold meat from the supermarket?
Oh, that's an interesting question, but you can eat any meat cold. I mean, a lot of people, and I enjoy every once in a while. And I don't snack. You all know how I feel about snacking. But I sometimes just if I have a leftover burger patty, I won't even bother reheating it. I try to make it part of a meal, kind of like a side dish for whatever I'm eating. In other words, if I made myself some chicken thighs, I might have the leftover burger patty with it.
Mhm.
Um, just eat them cold; they're good. Or even people like to eat cold bacon. You can. But if you have to buy meat and you're going to a deli where they slice it up for you, there's many meats that you can buy. The best, I think, and least screwed up would probably be roast beef, plain roast deli roast beef, or even sliced turkey breast. May not be as nutritious as the roast beef. I'd stay away from the highly spiced up meats like pastrami and corned beef because they've got a lot of crap in them. They taste great. I love them, but you're going to have a cure. You're going to have a lot of sugar in the process of making those things. Um, I would say that, and if you eat cheese, you get yourself some Swiss cheese or some other hard cheese like that. And what I used to do when I ate, because I used to eat more lunch meat. I haven't eaten lunch meat in a while. I haven't bought any of that stuff in a long time. But when I was keto and I could have a carb or two or eat a plant or something, I would take a big full-size piece of Swiss cheese and I'd put it down. And then I would take a couple slices of roast beef and lay it on top. And then I would take maybe some other meat if I had it. Then I would take a slice of lettuce, maybe romaine lettuce. And then maybe I'd put a pickle in there, a pickle spear. And I'd roll the whole thing up and I'd have a roll up, meat roll up. And I used to eat those a lot, but I don't do it anymore, not on carnivore. But that was probably the least,
Yeah.
even without the pickle and the lettuce. You can still roll up some, a decent size amount of some lunch meat that's not
Mhm.
full of sugar, and roll it around a piece of Swiss cheese or something else, or some other kind of hard cheese that you might like, and you can do that for lunch. Whether you can buy that where you are, whether it's anything like that is available. But yeah, there's cold meat is fine. Cold meat works great. Some people only eat raw meat, which is generally always cold. That's about the best advice I can do.
Mhm. Okay. James Bellew asks, have you read Sugar Blues? It's a book written in the 70s, tells the story of sugar addiction and how it spread across the Western civilization.
Who wrote it? I haven't read
I
that book.
can't remember. I've heard of it. I haven't read it either, but I know of it. It's
There's been so
yeah,
many books written, and
right.
most of them have had
Um,
very little effect on the conventional thinking of most people, unfortunately. We have such a machine out there driving us from every direction. I'm watching the news this morning, watching the news. And the first story I see on the news this morning, it said, Mitch's cigar went out. Excuse me.
okay. Excuse you while you relight your cigar.
Yes. And I always take note of commercials.
Yes.
In
Well,
fact,
they
I,
they
I,
tell
I
us
learn.
a lot, don't they?
Yes, they do. I learn more from the commercials that I see about the state of our culture. And of course, in the morning news, they have different kinds of commercials than you might see in afternoon soap operas or anything, because they try to play to the demographic. And the majority of the commercials on the morning news on all the channels are in order of frequency. Lawyers, you know, car accident, slip
Oh,
and fall attorney. Yeah. They occupy at least 70% of all the ads are
oh,
attorneys. Coming in at a close second. Well, not close. You can't be close to 70%. You can only be 30% or less. But coming in a close second are car dealers. It is absolutely amazing to me how much money these car dealers spend, because a car is not a, well, both of those things are not something you do every day. You don't have a car accident and hire an attorney every day. But it always intrigued me, the fact that it all revolves around cars. I mean, the accidents are revolve around cars. If people weren't buying the cars, they wouldn't be having the accidents. They wouldn't need these slip and fall attorneys. So, and that's most of it. That's and then in third place comes the maybe the attorneys are 50%, because I'm not leaving enough room for the other ads. Maybe 50%, and then maybe 20% or 25% car commercials. Then comes health related commercials. And what I've noticed lately is a big increase in the amount of money that these hospitals are spending to advertise. And this morning, it was about skin cancer. Moffitt Cancer Centers spends a fortune advertising for people to come in and get their cancer treatments at Moffitt Cancer Center. And today, their ads centered around skin cancer. And and then, of course, the drug companies. And I didn't see a single drug ad this morning.
Oh.
But I saw a couple of healthcare of health insurance from Florida Blue Cross, and the one from Moffitt Healthcare. And then the only other two ads that I saw this morning, and this is what I'm getting to, two lonely little advertisements stuck in the middle of all this. Appeal to sick people who want to win the lottery by suing an insurance company because they crashed up their car, and car dealers who want to sell you the car so you can crash it and you can hit the jackpot and hire these attorneys. And these people in these ads are all holding up the big checks.
Yeah.
Dan got me $880,000. Thank you, Dan. I mean, and Dan is the name of one of these prominent attorneys here. Not the biggest one. The biggest one everybody knows is John Morgan, but Morgan and Morgan. But the other two ads were for chocolate, Lindt. Lindt. You all know who Lindt is. Was one of them. And of course, they're showing swirling chocolate and then pouring the cream into it. And they don't show them dumping the sugar in. I made note of that. And then the people eating that delicious chocolate. And the other ad, about 15 minutes later, was from Girardelli.
Oh.
We don't stand a chance. We are bombarded with all of this every day. It's all about healthcare. It's all about drugs. It's all about sugary foods. And how do we stand a chance? Because every one of those ads is designed to be a trigger of some sort or other. That's why advertisers, that's why they advertise. They advertise to trigger. Oh, I think somebody just bought me a coffee, and I even failed to mention it.
Well,
today.
You've been busy.
Yes, Ellen, did you put the link in there if you would?
Put the link in there, and I can
Mark's channel. Oh, this is great. This is great. This is great. Listen to this. Mark's channel bought me 3 coffees. Thank you, Mark, so much. Mark's channel. Hey, Mitch, enjoy a few coffees on me. And then following immediately. Well, no, that was at 9:19. Yeah, and at 9. No, they both came in. They both came in at 9:19. You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this.
I might be able to guess, but let's see.
Mark C. bought me 3 coffees, and his message said, "The real Mark C. bought 3 coffees." Oh my God! How great! How great is that? I mean, absolutely, how great! Thank you, Marks, both of you.
I saw
Both
him.
of you.
I saw him come in the chat. So
Oh man, thank you guys so much. That is so cool. The real. That's like Donald Trump. The real. I'm the real. I'm the real old guy. Don't pay any attention to all these other wannabe old guys. I'm the real old guy. You know, that reminds me. Of one of the greatest frauds that ever lived. And if any of you people believe in this, I apologize. Don't mean to shake your foundation. But fortune tellers. You remember fortune tellers? Remember Miss Cleo? You remember the ones that they actually used to
Miss Cleo.
Yeah, you remember they used to advertise on TV, and I used to always hit the floor when I'd hear the ad, and the ad on the radio or something would say, "Don't," it would say in an announcer's voice, "Don't be fooled by any of these so-called phony fortune tellers. Come to Miss Cleo, the real fortune teller." Honest to God, people will buy anything if you package it correctly. Oh, another coffee. Hey, don't fall for those phony things, man. Wow. Who is this? Jerry Voituch bought me a coffee. Thank you so much, Jerry. Jerry says, "Enjoy your Sunday, Mitch. Thanks for motivation." I'll tell you, you guys motivate me in the morning too. Believe me. Sometimes I get up in the morning and I turn on the news, and I do it just to see what's going on. It gives me something to talk about, even if it's not pleasant. And I can get down too. But after I do this stream every morning, that's the best I feel mentally, and my attitude is the best place it ever is during the day. So this, for me, maybe even more than for you guys, is therapy. Motivation, and reassurance that I'm not alone in this, that I'm not some kind of freak of nature here, that what we have discovered is absolutely real and justified. And we need that. Because there's so much anti-meat, pro-vegetable, pro-sugar propaganda out there that by the end of the average day, you've been bombarded. You've seen so much of this stuff. You've talked to so many people that are telling you you're going to get cancer and heart disease from doing that you start to get shaken a little bit. So I don't know about you guys, but I think this morning thing is doing a lot of good for a lot of people, a lot more than I ever expected when I started out with a Monday morning rant where I just went off on things. Oh my God, people have woken up here. Thank you so much. Let's see, who was this? Captain America. Captain America bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. Let me see what his message was. I'm waiting for my phone to there it is. Steve Rogers. Thank you, Steve. He says, "Your voice triggers me to buy you a coffee." That's not my voice, Steve. That's the subliminal high frequency message I have playing over that you don't realize you're hearing. It's in an ultrasonic sound range. Mind, it's I'm joking. People would believe that too. That too. Anyway, thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. We got any more questions?
Yes, we do. LAT from the UK asks, did you see the latest research that old animals are essential for healthy populations as they hold all the skills and knowledge? And I haven't seen that research, but you know it's true.
Well, I know it's true. I know it's true for one reason only. For one reason only. I'm an old animal and I hold a wealth of knowledge which I can pass on. So yes, in that respect, I agree. They call that wisdom. Yeah, I think so. That's why ancient tribes, always had elders. Of course, some of the elders were pretty young back then because things that don't kill us today were killing them. Yeah, you could die from a broken arm. That's why they say the lifespan was so young. But early humans could live into their hundreds if they didn't have accidents, break things, fall prey to the things that in medicine's favor can cure. They didn't have antibiotics. They didn't have any of this stuff. They would, break something, it would get infected. They'd die from gangrene. And the child mortality rate was 50% or more, which really screwed up the longevity figures. When you figure that half the people never made it past childbirth, you can't figure them in. But as far as physiology goes and health, we have had the potential to live into the over 100 for the longest time. We just were taken out by many things that don't take us out today, especially child mortality. Especially child mortality. There goes another airplane overhead. Peter put something up here I want to talk about because I see this every morning. I don't watch Fox and Friends, but I do watch the local Fox affiliate here, and they have Dr. Mike out of Philadelphia, who always comes on and tells us how to be healthy. Have you ever seen Dr. Mike?
I never have, and I don't think I'm missing anything.
At any rate, he's, they all these news organizations have their TV doctors, and they toe the absolute line. They toe the absolute AMA, ADA, World Health Organization, food pyramid. I mean, they are encyclopedias of crap that's wrong. Anyway, say doctor is on Fox and Friends right now talking about how she makes a healthy green smoothie every morning with lots of spinach, lemon, ginger, and other veggies and fruits. Yes, loaded with oxalates. You're absolutely right, Peter. Oh, my God. Everybody, thank you. Sunday, coffee went off. Wow. Let's see. And I do want to thank everybody. Greg Smith bought me a coffee. Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you. I really appreciate that, my friend. And let me see what Greg said in his message. Have a Cuban sandwich on me. And by Cuban sandwich, everybody, Greg doesn't mean bread and lunch meat. And cheese. He means a particular method of rolling a cigar. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna look into those ones that you've been buying. And I won't bother right now to talk about what Cuban sandwiches are. But thank you, Greg. Thank you so much, my friend. And keep your eyes on the road and be safe. Be safe. Okay, Ellen, what else you got there?
I have.
I am 45 minutes.
Adnan, yes, Adnan, excuse me if I'm butchering this, Joe Dato, someone I haven't seen before, so welcome, asks, do you get some benefits just by increasing meat consumption without going all in? And, I think all meat is all good, but, any meat is good meat.
There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. That if you just anybody who starts eating more meat on their diet would have to benefit somehow. Because the meat has all the things that you're not getting. And eating no meat means you're malnourished. And the only way you can stay alive for any indefinite length of time if you're eating no meat is to have try to administer the hundreds of supplements you're going to need to be taking to get all of these obscure compounds that are in meat and are not found anywhere else. You need the nutrition in meat. It's been said, and I believe it, there are over 50,000 different compounds in red meat, many of which we haven't even isolated yet. And yet they're necessary for and important for something. And yes, increase the meat. Will it make you lose weight any faster? Maybe, because at least the meat might help trigger satiety, so you don't binge as much on the foods that don't trigger satiety, which are carbohydrates. So if you really want to help yourself, at the same time you increase your meat, make sure that you increase your fat consumption appropriately. So for the meat that you eat, you should be getting 70% of your calories from fat and 30% roughly from protein. And the more of that you eat and the fewer carbs you eat, the closer you'll get to optimal health, losing weight. And most importantly, if you take that final step and realize your life will not end when you stop eating Oreos, go full carnivore for a while, couple of months, and see if all of a sudden the stuff that your life revolves around now, because it does, your life revolves around food. If all of a sudden that doesn't seem as important to you anymore, because it isn't important to you anymore when you're eating meat. If you stop eating the meat again, the survival food will gain in importance. The cravings will come racing back, and you'll be in the shape, the same place you started. So yes, absolutely. Even if you only eat a little more meat, you're still going to be better off than not. Do you agree, Ellen?
I do, absolutely. I think different people have different goals, and if, just that's a great thing to do for anyone.
Okay, next question. We're a little over time, but let's do one more.
Okay, DS111 asks, do you know if boneless beef rib meat is as delicious as bone-in beef ribs? He wants to try some and see if they have less fat, but thinking they might not be as tasty.
Well, I think if it has less fat, it's not going to be as tasty. Mm-hmm. Fat is what makes meat, the fat part, the bacon fat is what makes bacon taste so great. The meat and mm-hmm. the fat is as important as the protein, and it satisfies your appetite, and it makes it very tasty. I have never cooked ribs without bones, but I can tell you this: I have I had a little adventure, a little experience with pork ribs. So this might translate to beef. In my when I make these pork ribs, either baby back or full size ribs that I get from Sam's Club, they always have places where they're really thick with a lot of extra meat on top, and places where they're thin. And in order to get evenly good looking ribs, most people, and I learned this from a barbecue channel on YouTube, most people actually trim it down so it's pretty even all through, and you get nice. I mean, especially the guys that do the competition ribs, the presentation and the looks are got to be perfect, as well as the taste and texture. So I trim quite a bit of excess meat and fat off of these ribs. And I made a video not too long ago where I showed you how I take this meat and I freeze it. And when I accumulate 5 or 10 pounds of it, I pull out the meat grinder and I grind it all up into pork burger meat, ground pork. And I either fry that up as a patty, and it's very similar to a hamburger, or I'll mix it with some ground beef and make a meatloaf. but it's terrific. It's almost like free meat. Rib meat is cheap anyway. You're only going to pay a buck or buck, close to $2 a pound generally at most for these ribs, and you get a. I think last time I ground it up, I had about 10 pounds of this stuff. I'm still eating it, and I can tell you that when I take that ground pork, which has fat in it, and fry it up in a pan like a burger, it's not nearly as satisfying and delicious as eating the rib itself, where you're getting big mouthfuls of that fat when you bite in, and that fat just liquefies in your mouth. It's just like bacon, same thing. If you ground up bacon, it would be a whole different experience eating it. If you ground up 2 pounds of bacon and fried it up like a hamburger patty, it would be different. It wouldn't have that same mouth feel of that fat liquefying in your mouth. That's the stuff that satisfaction is made out of. So I haven't tried to just buy the beef rib meat. I'm sure they sell it, but try it. You do the experiment. Let us know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to try it and see.
Thanks for that. You guys know that I'm looking at the chat from 45 minutes ago here. That's how far I got. So let me try to see if I can't get all the way down to the bottom here and see.
That's all the questions.
Okay, super.
More has come in hot off the press.
Well, no, we got it right. I'm looking at the chats from last couple minutes here. I see Lat in there. Nikki W was the last one in. Good to see you. Rick says he was hungry. Okay. Rick ate a whole turkey, evidently. Charged him by 8 a 12-pound turkey yesterday. Oh, my God, Rick. That's funny. That's funny. I think I'm going to end on that note. So, Ellen, you're still frozen up. Well, here you go. You're moving a little bit. Thanks for the extra effort today in making it in here. I appreciate it.
Yes, Gull says, here comes my little friend.
Yeah, there you go. You go.
There's my little assistant today.
Well, is it a he or a she?
It's a he. This is right.
He was a big help.
He was very good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cute dog too. Look at that. Yeah.
He's a Jack Russell Terrier. So thank you.
Oh my God, nervous dogs.
Yeah, he's got a lot of energy.
I'm telling you.
Thank you all for being here. Great chat, great discussions. Have a good day.
Thank you, Ellen. We'll see you tomorrow. Unless I hear differently. Take it easy.
I plan on being here.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Great Sunday, everyone. Bye.
You too. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. It was fun. 130 people still here. Great to see you all. Thank you all for the support, both the moral support being here. I really appreciate it. I'm going to relight my cigar again because I don't pay enough attention to it, and take a minute or two, say goodbye to everybody in the chat. Enjoy the happy music. Drink some more of your coffee. Mine is still steaming here. Ah, yes. And interestingly enough, when it's hot like this, it makes you want to sip it, not gulp it all down. When it gets cold, you just kind of want to finish it. So it takes that 1 cup of coffee that I have during this stream even that much more enjoyable. So say goodbye. We will do this. Music's almost ready to end. Let's let the music end and we'll go out professionally. Here it comes. Cool deal. We'll see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, take the rest of the day off and eat meat, my friends.